Hello, John.
Hello, Adam.
And so today we're going to talk about the New York portal. It was installed, I think, or made live on the 8th of May. It's a live streaming art installation.
That's right.
I just want to say that its founder is Benedictus Giles, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
So, where is it in Dublin?
So it's on it's
Where's the portal?
it's in North Earl
Where
Street,
is
and
it?
it's in North Earl Street.
North Earl Street.
Yeah, and it faces
Hey,
the spire, and it faces the GPO.
okay. Well, the GPO is more or less still standing over the spike, whatever they call it. That's a pity that that's visible because it looks like a carbuncle. But because we have spoken about that as being a disaster as regards what should be in O'Connell Street. Uh, so vis-a-vis
Hmm?
it's unstable. Um, so the portal was a good idea for people to be able to communicate between Dublin and New York. Now the unfortunate thing is that some people misused young people of unsound mind, I think, or of
Very
no
good, good way
faith,
of putting it. Yeah,
and kind of exposed themselves in a manner that would cause disgust to most civilized people.
absolutely.
They apparently don't know the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. So it's a pity that there isn't some kind of security to prevent such people abusing such a thing, and of course put it up on videos because they seem to be expert at doing that kind of thing. The people that are evil,
I
and quite
think
an amount of them in the world, and not alone in this country, but in the United States. There's various episodes happened there. A well-known footballer. Yes, Kansas, uh, Kansas City or Kansas, whatever they were, big players, and a pretty superior player. But he spoke about the Catholic faith and at some university, Catholic university, and of course the anti-Catholic bigots in that country appears to be a terrible amount of them that are able to respond, and he's been vilified by them. And I mentioned something about it earlier in one of my videos there earlier, and that he must have been a convert because Harrison is his first name, and Ford or something. Harrison is first name, and it's not recognised as a Catholic name. So, but he's a Catholic. He spoke at a Catholic university and spoke about the family and women that are being being put astray with the abortion referendum and the various other issues and all the rest of it in that country. And so he was vilified by these anti-Catholic bigots, and it's extraordinary in that country that the woke crowd, if you like, they don't want any discussion that stands up for the faith, and I think in that country, much the same as here, the silence of the bishops is deafening. In other words, they want to stand up and speak out
okay,
for the
okay.
Catholic faith, and yeah, go ahead.
What's that got to do with the portal?
Well, you see, it's in the United States, and New York is, according to my friend whose son is in Queens, which is not a nice area to be living in, but because of the problems in New York, the people that were living in Madison Square Garden, which is a very expensive place, a lot of squatters and people living in tents. So they've been moving out and moving to Queens. So prices have risen. And he says, this lad, and he's in touch, he's a good job and all the rest of it. And and he's not, he's in his late 50s, and he'll be probably returned soon because they can retire early there. But what the union that he's in is the electrical union. So he said like that New York is really a dangerous place now. So perhaps the portal people in New York might be able to speak about what they're encountering in that country, because I have contacts with people that send videos from New York, and I have a fair idea that it's difficult. So from the point of view of the portal, that's a factor, isn't it? The same as Dublin is not the great city that it was, with the wide streets and the great fountains and all the rest of it was in it. It was a lovely
I
thing,
think
but the media seem to not like something good like that, and were criticising these things, which was a joy to most people.
I think you've
And
raised a
of course, now, yeah, go ahead.
I think you've raised a very good point in terms of like what the portal will probably be used for in the future. It'll probably be used for activism, pro-choice, people who are pro-abortion. It'll probably become something strongly political. What I do see at the moment, though, is that the actual portal, we see tribal type behaviors happening at the portal. Okay, and that's very interesting from a sociology point of view. I think somebody held up a 9/11 image, and then the New Yorkers, in retaliation, I was
I
told,
tell you what, but you
held.
see, that was a terrible thing that happened with the Muslim extremists, mostly from Saudi Arabia. As far as I know, wasn't know what's Saudi Arabia, some country that's often helped by the United States, and but it was for that country that these people were able to be trained as pilots, not to actually learn the thing, but just how to actually pilot a plane. And it's extraordinary that the security services didn't smell a rat. Apparently, somebody did and reported it, but it didn't go up high enough
Yeah, I just want to stick.
to the top shores that could take action,
I just want to
because it
stick.
seems a security lapse that so many of these yokes were able to do this type of training without anybody being suspicious about these people
Yeah,
from
I'm just trying to.
because they're distinct in their appearance and all the rest of it. And
I just
this
want
is the agenda that they had for to destroy destroy the twin towers and cause a lot of deaths, and
to. Yeah.
including of Irish people that were working in that building. And there's a memorial to them in a place called Ballinlough, near where I live in Oldcastle, for a lad called Michael Riley. And his
Hmm.
parents were obviously good Catholics and living in New York. He was killed. He was only 26 years of age, or maybe he was a bit more. But he was in the Twin Towers, and a lot of firemen and policemen were killed as well.
I just want to go back to what I was saying there. So somebody held up a 9/11 image, okay, and then in retaliation, I was told somebody held up potatoes in reference
Go
to the
ahead.
and somebody held up the next day. Somebody held up potatoes in New York in reference to the famine. So there's a bit of tribal warfare going on with this screen.
Head up once. I can't hear you, Oliver. Your voice is fading a bit. What did they held up in New York?
They held up
Potatoes.
potatoes in reference to the famine as a put down to Ireland. So that's what I'm saying. That there's a kind of a tribal behavior going on.
Well, you see, unfortunately, the people that's suffering from not knowing the difference between good and evil, and as I mentioned about New York, there's problems in that city. So I'm not surprised that that kind of old stupidity carried on. Don't forget the Irish, when they went there, they suffered grievously at the hands of the WASPs, Western Anglo-Saxon Protestants,
Oh
and
well,
but they were able to stand up
yeah.
and defeat them. And the Italians and the Germans were very pleased and congratulated that they were able to deal with these ones, and they did dealt with them pretty strongly, because they become involved in politics, and they gave them good is what they got. That's the only way to.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so look, the portal anyway is here. It's Ireland is this year is the European capital of smart tourism. That's one of the reasons the portal is actually there, and there are plans to broadcast to Poland, Brazil, and Lithuania.